Please be in order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any public comment? Reorganization. Any nominations for a chair? Okay. Any other nominations? All right, that's closed. Vice chair? Nomination for vice chair?
It was Adam.
It was Adam, yes.
Nominate Sheldon Simpson.
Shelley? Okay, Shelley's got it then. And secretary?
Was
It was Karen.
Karen.
All right, that was easy.
No vote, nothing? All in favor? No.
Any mail-in
I
ballot?
missed, are you the chair again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be chair. Shelley Simpson will be vice chair, and your secretary.
So I'll make a motion that
Slate
we
of,
set this late as
Yeah.
all uncontested offices.
Motion by Mike, second.
Sure.
Second by John Hoffman. Cool. Approval of minutes from November 16th. You want to make a motion on that?
I'll make a
Motion
motion.
by Mike Manchesky. Seconded by, that's not me shy, John Hoffman?
Sure.
Cool. That was easy. New business.
All right, next one's John's and my second.
Yeah. Construction update.
I sent that out. Unfortunately, only got to me today. Are any questions about that?
Cool.
Okay. Moving on. Along construction updates, I'll just throw in while we're at it. We also sent out vacant dangerous buildings from codes. There were 2 sent out. You can destroy the first one. There was something missing on there that Chris brought to our attention and was added on was the IKEA office building. But the rest of them on there. A couple weeks ago, there was actually another one that had a hoarding condition. Within the week, that was actually taken back off again because they actually cleaned up the house. So they did a great job with that. So
Is that the one on Clover?
no, Clover's still on there.
Clover's still on there.
The one that's on Jefferson. There was I sent an email out just to the chiefs, the EMS, fire, and police chief, and that one has since been removed again because they actually cleaned up the house. So you won't see that on the list because they took care of it. That's all I got.
All right.
Probably don't. I could have talked to you about this prior, but like, whatever happened with that one that we had with the CO incident on Jefferson?
That was house.
That was the house.
That's what he's talking about.
Oh, was that the actual address? Too? Okay,
Yep.
good, because that was a concern.
Yes.
Cool.
That ended up being something with the water heater and
Found
the extreme conditions. They had to get the water heater repaired, and that I don't know where that stands. I assume they actually had it done the next day, so that's all they had to do is get somebody in there with a new water heater. But the hoarding and everything else was taken care of within the week. And Jim did not post it, and has since said
Good.
fully habitable.
Good.
So I think they closed that one.
All right. Police Department, Chris?
Just a couple things from the chief. Sad news, Officer Bob Marinelli passed away at the end of January. Served here from 1966 to 1992, and then stayed in the building maintenance department for some time after his retirement. He was laid to rest on February 3rd. Officer Robinson received his 20-year recognition at the council meeting in February. He has a combined 27 years of policing, with 7 years at Warrington before he came here. And Officer Conrad retired on January 12th after 27 years of service here at Plymouth. Our Citizens Academy is open. If any of you guys know anybody that's interested in coming to the Citizens Academy, they meet 10 weeks starting on March 14th. It's a Thursday night, 1 time per week, to learn about the various aspects of the police department. And if anybody's interested, they can reach out to Officer Lacey in the Community Policing Unit. Cop Camp registration is also open. The week of June 17th to 21st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. for 9 to 11-year-olds. If you know any children that are interested in that, have the parent contact Officer Lacey. And I know that fills up pretty quickly, so don't wait. From the association, we'll be holding a shredding event on April 27th at the Tech School from 8 to 12. We're also partnering with White Marsh and Conshohockins Police Associations to fill a car food drive to benefit the Colonial Neighborhood Council in May. And our gal fouling The Officer Brad Fox Memorial Golf Outing is scheduled for October 14th at Green Valley again. That's it.
All right. Harmonville, John?
This is Harmonville's 100th anniversary year, so everybody will be invited to our big celebration, which will be actually on our anniversary date, which is May 24th of 2024, and that will be held at Normandy Farms. We are going to be holding some other events throughout the year for the members to celebrate our bicentennial year. So just be on the lookout for a lot of that. So. And we'll just talk about this one. So it's all.
Yep. All right. Plymouth, John, or Frank, whatever you're doing.
Nothing from the fire chief. So.
All right. Plymouth ambulance?
A couple things from our chief. We have taken delivery of 3 brand new ambulances. One is in service, and the other 2 will be placed in service within the next couple weeks. One's licensed by the state. As always, community CPR, if you guys know anybody that is looking to be certified in CPR, reach out to us. We'll set up a class for them. And the third thing, we have a old ambulance being given to Plymouth Police Department for their, I guess, SWAT team to utilize. That's all I have.
Act 91?
Okay, so I just, were there enough copies? Did we get one?
Everybody still need one?
No, I have one. I just want to make sure we got one. There is a resolution that talks about how many points would be needed. So I guess last time you handed us some copies from different townships in the Bucks County. We had the township solicitor look at like all of them, but he used the Bucks County model. They actually had those 600 points, and we talked last time about 200 or 400. And I don't know why this is where the minimum of 50 came in, but it wouldn't take very long at all to get 50 points. So, but anyway, I then asked each chief to give me, based on the 200 points, 400 points, say for last year's active volunteers, and they're pretty much the same active volunteers who got the stipend program. And it turned out that, let's see, I have this Harmonville list. Had 1, 2, 3, 10 members who would get a full refund under this setup, if this is what's chosen, and 5 who would get the 50% or half, 50% rebate or half their taxes back. Plymouth, John told me that they would have 7 members qualify for the 100%, and they would have 2 members who would qualify for the 50%. And that was that. So I don't know. Last time we talked about the 400 points, thinking, wondering if that would be achievable. It's up to council to decide what the number is. But I don't know if you have any feelings or comments on, from your list about
the only thing I would say is I did
achievability.
talk to John, and the county just approved
I saw that.
a whole
It's
process
wonderful.
for that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know if council wanted to just really just take what was already established by the county and use the same verbatim policy,
They
which
have
is
an
a little bit
ordinance.
different. It's a little bit less points on some certain things, but their point structure is pretty much the same, looking at where they are for apples, but their point structure is a little bit different. So it awards members for not only just 100 but 50. It also does 25.
and 75.
Yeah, so it offers more for what John and I both felt was where this is 200 points and 400 points. 400 is easy for an active fire line member. However, for the active administration members who only do administration and can no longer do firefighting, where they do a lot on the administration side, they're not really going to be rewarded out of this policy because it's high to try to get these points. So we were thinking about maybe restructuring and suggesting to go exactly what the county had already done because it's a pre-established thing, and then we're doing mirroring exactly what the county did.
I'm sorry. Oh, I was just going to say, so I actually saw the county. I tried to, click through. I didn't actually see an actual resolution from the county. I'm sure I can get it. I know it's 25, 50, 75, or 100. I don't know, I didn't see their points to see. So could a person who's purely administrative ever get a full refund?
They would be close to getting like,
They could get a
because
full-
there's administrative offices, like if they hold an administrative office. And I told John what probably we all need to do better between both fire companies is document the administration time. A lot of like, I could preach for Walt Krosky, who's our treasurer. Walt's at the firehouse every day doing treasurer work, but he never does a report to document that time. So when I pull out the point system out of our reporting software, a lot of Walt's time is not documented because he's just coming in and doing time and doing this.
Right.
So there's people like that who don't necessarily, we don't capture their time. And if we did on that, they would be close to on the county one to be getting a pretty decent return.
Plus, if they were both coinciding with the same points, it'd be easier for the fire companies to keep track. It would be consistent, and it'd be
And that's what-
one
yeah.
set of tracking
Yeah, that's what-
instead of two.
Yeah, and that's what, I can't speak for the full council because we haven't talked about it as a full council, but I know at least a couple of us have talked about it, and we've talked about that exact issue. Like, the idea is to make this an incentive. Like, if we're making it hard, like, oh my gosh, there's so much more tracking, and I got it over here, but I missed it over here. Like, I think there are some advantages to just syncing up with the county, unless something the county's doing seems outrageous for some reason. Doesn't sound like that's the case.
No, I mean, I read it over and it's it's pretty close on a lot, like all this stuff, it's just their point structure is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Which, as long as council's good with that, I think. When I talked to John yesterday, we were both in agreement that that would be our recommendation as the fire chiefs to move with what the county had. That way it's a standard, and when this comes around, John and I don't have to do two different reports. One for the township, one for the county, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, one for the school.
No, that makes sense. Again, it's supposed to be an incentive, not something that makes anybody's life like much harder. That doesn't sort of fit the bill. But, I mean, Karen, can we put that on our next agenda
Well,
to?
I'll get it in the meantime.
Okay.
I'll get the county resolution. I don't know if they do ordinances, but I'll get what they have, and we can just, everybody seems to think that's a better way to go. We can present that to council.
Sounds great.
Would that be presented at the workshop?
Yes.
Or next workshop? Okay.
Yeah, if I get that, I don't, no reason why they wouldn't give me the resolution, but yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, and then, for us, we would also prepare an ordinance that would go with it that, it's just the way they handle things. Mike's office, it's make both a resolution and an ordinance go with it. So, yeah, because we would put it in our code, my ordinance. All right, so I'll get the county resolution and we'll proceed from there.
Sounds good.
It's still a draft for council's approval.
Yeah.
All right.
It's great.
Good.
Thank you.
You were asked, and I don't see any reason why, because they've been talking about it for so many years, why, if we pass it, so it would probably be put in front of council again in March. They'd probably then give directions to advertise an ordinance. It would be for April. But to me, I don't see why you wouldn't give a rebate for 2023 taxes.
I would support that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, we'd have to ask full council, but I would
Yes.
support that. I think it makes
Yeah.
sense. I think the only challenge might be if you didn't do the administrative tracking in 2023, not knowing that was the case, there might be some misses, but better to do some rewarding and incenting than none.
Yeah.
I would support that.
Yeah, I know the volunteers would appreciate that. That's
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Another thing I had is just miscellaneous. Were you finished with that topic? Yeah. Is just our membership list. So I don't know if you're coming more to the meetings or if Kevin's coming around anymore. Here, should I need him on or not? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I would leave
Kevin. He's still,
on.
he's
Yeah.
still probably one of the few volunteers at you don't have too many. do you?
We're,
How many volunteers?
I don't know the exact
Not
number,
many, right.
but not many.
Not many, yeah, and Kevin's one. If everybody could just check their contact information on here. I think Chad changed Adam over to Shelley, but I thought he'd be here to fill in his numbers and such.
Okay. Do you want a cell phone on there? What do you need?
Well, it comes around, see, yeah. I'm not sure what he's using for, I think I have his email. Sheldon.Simpson? I'm not sure. I think. It's changed for anybody.
It's Sheldon Simpson at hotmail.com.
Does he have a dot between his name first and last?
No.
No, just plain Sheldon Simpson?
Mhm.
Oh, no. All right, we'll see what it is in there.
That's John's stuff. You need a name on that, right?
He's a top.
Shall
Let's put his, you want me to write his cell in
I?
there?
Please,
Yeah, no worries.
and an email.
So that's everything for the Act 91 then?
Yes.
All right. And miscellaneous?
I got two things for miscellaneous, or for new business, that didn't fall into the others. There are two events coming up for the township this year, or at least proposed events for the township this year, which are going to include all the emergency services. One is a circus that the mall wants to host. It's a company called Flip Circus. They're looking into doing a circus event. Setup is going to be April 3rd through 5th. Their first show, they hope to be April 5th. They're going to be here for about a week and a half as far as shows go. Weeknights will be one show, and then Saturdays and Sundays will be 3 shows. They're looking to set up in the area, at least the area they requested is over by the parking area where Burlington is and P.F. Chang's. And we're still working with them on that. We had our first meeting with them this week just to gather more information. We're trying to get them to move it somewhere else in the parking lot because that's not really a good spot for everything. But they're kind of pushing back and saying this is really the best spot for them in the mall, saying that they can't be in other spots because of due to contracts and stuff with the other properties. So it looked like it's probably going to be there, but that has not been finalized yet. Our next step is we already presented a bunch of stuff they need for codes for police. I put a bunch of the emergency and public safety and the evacuation plan stuff that they need to do per code and get back to us. I also told them that one of the next steps is going to be, I'm hoping to work with them next week once they figure out where exactly it's going to be, is having a meeting with police, EMS, and fire to sit down and talk with them. Nothing's been arranged for that yet, but we need to know, I'm sure you're all going to have questions, and they're going to need to provide answers. Police already said that this goes through O'Brien, just so you're aware. That they're looking to have anywhere from 2 to 4 officers dedicated to this. They're going to be required to provide some kind of medical attention, so they're going to work with Tom or whoever is designated from 308. Whether or not an ambulance needs to be on scene or staged somewhere, whatever, that we're going to have work out with the ambulance. But again, we're going to be coming up probably starting next week, trying to figure out a day that we can all meet and talk to them about stuff. They didn't submit a whole lot of stuff yet. No permits or anything has been submitted yet. So I don't have a whole lot more information on it yet.
I think that the 2 to 4 officers have to be extra police service. Is that what they're
They're extra police, and
okay,
they can
extra
be-
police service. Good.
And
They have to be. Yeah.
Lieutenant Bryan was saying that that's something they're going to pay for.
Obviously. Yeah,
Yep.
because that's what extra police service is.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously they have to pay for that.
So
Because we can't take that manpower on the street for their
they-
circus.
They've been advised, the director of that has been advised of that and didn't seem to have a problem with that. He's like, okay, just tell me what it's going to be and what's going to cost.
Yeah.
He's also advised that they are responsible for contacting county for like food services, Department of Health, and any other agency to do.
Restrooms, everything, right?
And this is
They're
April?
go.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the dates for that again?
Trying to get together for April.
Right now, the ones they're proposing, first show will be April 5th. Setup will actually be on the 3rd. And they're going to be here for about a week and a half. I think it's going to be a weekend through the next weekend. And then they start tearing down. I think it was the 17th.
They'll tear it down, I think they said the day after the last show and be out here that day.
Yeah.
Just tear it down.
Two
It's a lot
days
easier
is-
than-
To put everything up. And then just over a day to tear everything down and be out of there.
Yeah.
They give you an indication of amount of foot traffic they anticipate?
So the tent can hold 800 people. They're not anticipating on selling out every day, maybe the weekends, but like on a random Tuesday night, they're not expecting to sell 800 tickets.
Their estimates are 250 probably on weeknights and up to 500 for the shows on the
Yeah.
weekends, of the 3 shows. But their maximum occupancy is 800 plus staff.
Yeah.
So as far as we're concerned, everything is based
800.
off of 800.
And no animals, I heard, right?
And
So
no
we're aware
animals.
of the animal activist rights, because we used to have problems down on Butler Pike when the Lulu held the circus and the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that Circuit du Soleil, the flying acrobats. and
Yes.
stuff
more
like that.
acrobatic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so
That's
it's.
good.
But no animals. They seem surprised when the first question I had is, what animals are you going to have? It's a circus. Right, it's a circus. What's with the animals? They said, oh, no animals with this. So I think it's one of those unusual cases where they don't have animals.
Yeah. And they were told how many porta potties they're gonna need. They figured all that out and stuff and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it would be like a
So-
total of 20 porta potties total.
So they still have some stuff to do with codes. Like I said, my plan is with them for emergency services, we need a separate meeting with everybody else involved. It probably will not be in person. It probably could be online because this guy's actually from Texas, actually from southern Texas, all the way down. Their
Almost at the border
headquarters
of Texas.
is almost at the border of Texas. And their general manager is right now in Paramus running one of their shows. So, but we're gonna make the meeting happen. So, if you got things rolling in your minds right now, start coming up with a list of questions, and let's see what answers they have for us when we get together. Okay. Questions about the circus so far? I'll answer what I can, which isn't much.
Are there people participating in the circus residing there in trailers?
They will be in RVs. Good question. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
They actually have their staff that will come up in RVs, and that's where they stay.
They're the Carnegie, you might as
They're
well
like
check,
the Carnies, yes.
check multiple warrants on every one of them.
Get that, Chris?
Chris said he's going away that week.
I think I'm on vacation.
No, I'm on 12, I'll go with you.
Okay, and then the other thing I had to bring up was the 1912 Club would like to do fireworks this year for 4th of July or somewhere around there. It's been a number of years since they've done it, and most of the people there have not been involved with doing fireworks at all, so this is kind of their walkthrough with it already. They have not picked a vendor yet. That's just the time frame they're looking at. It's still in its infancy. They mentioned this to us months ago that they would like to do it, but really nothing's come up until this past week when the manager over there brought it up and said, we have a couple vendors we want to look at. They haven't even picked a vendor yet. So they're
I'm sure they'll get a
still just
quality
trying to
one
figure it
at
out.
this
It's that
I'm sure they'll get a quality one at this point.
You got the matches?
actually, interesting enough, the ones that they've talked to already
Go to some neighbors, they love them.
are ones that a lot of the other country clubs around have used and done stuff before. And they've already reached out to the other towns and found out that others have worked with them. They weren't problems. At least from the emergency services perspective. Can't speak for anything else.
Does a more commercial fireworks show require like any special permit or licensing or all of that?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep. Yeah. It could be a special events permit, fireworks display permit. Then there's a whole bunch of code stuff that they still have to abide by, as well as state stuff. So yes. Insurance. Yep. Insurances.
This is for their club members only they're going to make it, or are they trying to?
This is for the public, like it used to be of, they do it, shoot off, and
Yeah, because I remember way back, it was a public show.
Yep.
that's what it's supposed to
But
be, is a public
Then
show.
it became more of a private. The last couple times they did it was a private. for
They
the
put it
club.
down behind the
They
club.
went real low.
Yeah, they went low, but the ones that were for the whole community, and traffic there was a disaster.
Yeah.
Because that parking lot doesn't hold that many people.
Yeah, we gave Lieutenant O'Brien the heads up on that, just a precursor to this meeting. But again, there's not a lot of details of that. As of right now, the anticipation is it's a public event. Once they start seeing costs, they may change their mind, but right now, it's supposed to be a public event.
So it sounds like that happened in the past. In general, is the public reaction to that like, oh, good, fireworks, or we hate this?
It depends. The
Depends on who
neighbors
you are.
on the corner of
Dog
Plymouth,
owners probably not.
neighbors on the corner of Plymouth and Belvoir, they complained a lot because of a lot of the debris went on their property.
That's what I was curious
nobody
about.
cleaned.
People close by are
But-
like, this is awful.
The rest of the neighbors loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that with a lot of these
It
fireworks,
doesn't matter.
especially
You have to
country
make
Hawkins.
everybody happy.
Yeah, you have all the people who like seeing it, but then you have all the neighbors directly around there. Like you said, with Contra Hawkins, all you do is hear complaints from people like, they're blocking our driveway, they're blocking our street, because everybody comes to watch them and parks everybody in. Okay, but the people who park there love watching fireworks. So, you get a little bit of both.
Yeah,
Actually, a lot of bit of both.
it's fair. Thanks.
It just, I think it's going to be an interesting, because talking about Conshohocken, it was public for a long time, and now they say Sutcliffe is totally shut off because of all the young kids fighting and everything else. And over the years, with the police, they had a big issue down there. I just hope we don't make that public here, and we're going to have that issue here as well.
How do they control down Sutcliffe now, John?
It's totally shut off. They don't want
Close
anybody
the
seeing it.
park off.
Yeah, they used to
Park is
have
completely closed
grandstands down there.
Yeah.
You could actually be right there, and I think you can just watch it remotely somewhere in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can watch it from anywhere else but Sutcliffe.
That makes it worse on the
I
neighbors.
think they said they went with a different company that can shoot them higher. So I think that was like the point of like, go with a company that can get them higher in the air, so all of Country can see them instead of just right at
Park.
Sutcliffe. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember it being terrible last year.
No,
I don't. So,
in the neighborhoods?
yeah.
I think the worst it was
That's
a
all
few,
inside.
just the 1 year was that, it was a few years ago when everything was falling down on all the houses.
Yeah.
Just that one time. But, so again, that's, as being planned somewhere around 4th of July. No date has been set. The vendor's not been set. They have to get some of those things in line first. But keep that in mind. Again, this will probably be a separate meeting outside the ESB with all the different chiefs or their designees as we start getting closer with that stuff, so we can plan for that. And that's all I have.
Anybody else? Anything? Jessica?
I would just have a reminder for fire, police, and EMS. If you guys ever need EVB's facilities for training for vehicle rescue or canine or anything like that, we're happy to provide it. Just let us know. We can provide cars you guys can cut up. We've done it in the past, but we just kind of want to put it out there because we got some new folks on the board. That's it.
And I want to thank Kevin. He's been great about offering stuff, especially bringing on new people. I brought guys down there for us to take a look around,
Burn cars.
burn cars.
Yeah.
Any old business? Next meeting is May 16th. Any audience participation? We'll make a motion to adjourn. Motion by Frank, seconded by John Hoffman. Have a good night.